Welcome to the shadow frequency, where the veil between this world and the next grows thin, and the things that whisper in the dark are given voice. From the cryptic candlelit studios, deep in the Indiana forests, your host, Matt Wilson, and his spectral producer, Juniper Ravenwood, unearth the forbidden, the forgotten, and the fearsome. So, still your heart, dim the light, and listen closely. For once you tune into the shadow frequency, you may never tune out.
Welcome back, Wonders of the Weird, to the Shadow Frequency. I'm Matt Wilson, and oh boy, Juniper's already wrestling with the cabinet. You all right over there?
It's fine. Thing is welded shut by demons.
Yeah.
There we go. Okay.
Deal.
Let's see what treasures the haunted junk drawer has for us tonight.
Be gentle, it bites.
Oh, perfect. First thing I see is a jar of something that looks like it used to be alive.
Nope.
And what is this? Stack of VHS tapes labeled Do Not Watch After Midnight. Matt,
Cool.
Remind me again why we're legally responsible for this cabinet.
No one else would take it.
Yeah, okay, hold on. Oh no, what is this?
Huh?
Matt, this is an old CB radio, like old.
Yeah.
There's no cord, no power, no antenna, just the mic. And there's a note taped to it. It says, haunted, in scratchy handwriting.
Oh, yeah.
Matt, why is there a haunted CB radio in here?
Oh, that? Yeah, I bought that off a guy.
Why?
He said you don't plug it in, you don't hook it to anything, you don't even turn it on, you just set it on a table, and eventually it starts getting calls.
Calls from who, Matt?
Beats me, I didn't ask,
my
I just
God.
handed him the money.
Unbelievable. All right, well, this is going up here where I don't have to look at it. If it starts talking, I'm quitting.
Fair enough.
Okay, digging around again. Creepy marionette head, nope. Hard nope. Vintage medical mask, also nope. Oh, here we go, tonight's file folder.
Episode 241?
Yep, the screaming skull of Bettiscombe Manor. I don't love that the folder is vibrating, but that's fine. Everything's fine.
This one's a classic, a skull that screams when anyone tries to move it. A cursed heirloom with a mean streak.
And we're just going to talk about this while a haunted CB radio watches from the corner.
You get used to it.
I really, truly don't.
All right, let's get into it. Episode 241, The Screaming Skull of Bettiscombe Manor.
You are tuned to the shadow frequency, where every whisper tells a story from beyond the veil. Hosted by Matt Wilson. Produced by Juniper Ravenwood. With Chris Beach. The darkness continues.
Deep in the fog-choked valleys of Dorset, where the hedgerows twist like skeletal fingers and the wind carries whispers older than the hills themselves, there's a house, Bettiscombe Manor. It doesn't look like much from the outside, just another crumbling relic of England's gentry. Ivy crawling up its stones like it's trying to strangle the past. But step inside and you'll feel it, a pressure, a watching, not from the shadows, but from the skull, the one that screams. Tonight, we're cracking open the file on Dorset's most restless resident, a human bone that refuses to stay buried, refuses to stay silent, and refuses to let anyone forget the betrayal that bound it to this place.
Oh, Juniper, you're pulling out the big guns tonight. A skull that bounces, that curses. I'm already checking under my desk for rogue craniums.
Better keep the windows locked, Matt, because once this thing starts shrieking, there's no shutting it up. Over to you.
Thanks for digging into the file cabinet, Juniper. Hope you didn't wake anything up while you were down there. All right, friends, let's crack this one open. Picture this, 18th century Dorset. The air smells like wet earth and sheep, and Bettiscombe Manor is the crown jewel of the Penny family estate. Azariah Penny, he's the guy who built the family fortune on sugar plantations in the Caribbean. brings back more than just rum and riches. He brings a man, an enslaved man from Jamaica. No name in the records, just the servant. But this guy, he's got a dying wish. Simple, heartbreaking, take me home. He dies in 1780, and the pennies, they bury him in a churchyard like he's local, like he belongs. Big mistake. That night, the village wakes to a sound like a banshee being flayed alive. The ground over the grave heaves. Villagers swear the earth itself is screaming. They dig him up in a panic, and the body's decayed, but the skull, pristine, glistening, and it's howling. They haul it back to the manor, and that's when the fun really starts. Imagine you're a guest in 1802. You're sipping tea in the parlor, and suddenly, crack, the windows shatter inward. No wind, no storm, just glass exploding like someone threw a brick from the inside. Then the screaming starts. Not human, not animal, something wrong. It's coming from upstairs, from the attic, where they've stashed the skull in a box. The pennies try everything. They bury it in the garden. Screams. They lock it in the cellar. Screams louder. One night, a footman swears he sees the skull rolling down the main staircase, bouncing like a rubber ball, shrieking the whole way. Another servant tries to toss it in the pond out back. Next morning, it's sitting on the kitchen table, dripping, still screaming. Fast forward to 1847. The family's had enough. They hire a priest to exorcise the thing. He lasts 10 minutes, runs out clutching his rosary, babbling about a voice in his head saying, "I want to go home." The skull ends up in a niche above the staircase, and there it stays. For a while. But here's the kicker. Every time someone tries to move it, the manor fights back. In 1875, a new owner decides to renovate. Workers pry the skull from its spot, and the roof rips off in a storm that wasn't in the forecast. Horses bolt, carriages flip, and the foreman drops dead of a heart attack. Coincidence? Sure, if you believe in those. By the 1920s, the skull's a local legend. Kids dare each other to sneak in and touch it. One boy does. That night, his family hears pounding on their cottage door. No one there. Just wet footprints leading away from the manor. And the boy? He won't speak for a week. When he finally does, he says the skull whispered to him, told him its name, but he won't repeat it. Says it'll follow him if he does. And the sounds? God, the sounds. People sleeping in the manor wake to shrieks that rattle their teeth. Doors slam in sequence, like something's running through the halls. One woman in 1953 swears she saw a shadow carrying the skull down the corridor. No body, just arms made of smoke. It stops at her door, knocks 3 times, then silence, until the screaming starts again. Here's a story that still gives me chills. 1968, a paranormal group sets up shop in the manor. They've got tape recorders, thermometers, the works. Midnight hits, and the temperature plummets 20 degrees. Their equipment goes haywire. One guy's camera catches a blur, something white shooting across the frame. They play back the audio later. Under the static, there's a voice, low, guttural, speaking in a language none of them recognize, except one member. He's Jamaican. He goes pale, says it's patoy, and it's saying, "You kept me, now I keep you." The skull's still there, in the same niche. Some say it's cracked now, like it's been screaming so long it's splitting apart. Others swear it glows on moonless nights, and if you stand too close, you can feel it, a vibration, like a heartbeat, like it's waiting. I don't know about you, but I'm sleeping with the lights on tonight, Juniper. You okay over there?
I just felt something brush my ankle, Matt. Probably nothing.
Yeah.
Probably.
Great. We'll be right back after this. Don't touch any skulls while we're gone. Juniper, take us to break.
Okay, listeners, take a breath, or don't. Your call. We're halfway through the file on Bettiscombe Manor, and I gotta say, this one's burrowing under my skin. What do you think? Is the skull really screaming for justice, or is something else making that noise? Chris Beach has a word for us, and then we've got the mailbag. Stay close.
Thanks, Juniper. Hey everybody, Chris Beach here. And listen, if you love the ritual of great coffee but don't always want the full caffeine blast, you've got to check out Savorista Coffee. They craft premium decaf and half-calf blends with bold, rich flavours, all made from high-altitude, hand-picked Arabica beans. Everything's naturally decaffeinated using water or sugarcane-based methods, so there are zero harsh chemicals. Savorista works directly with farmers from Colombia, Ethiopia, Rwanda, and more. And their small batch roasting brings out those incredible flavour notes, like the chocolatey smooth profile in their Colombian inspiration decaf. And here's the best part. Shadow Frequency listeners get 25% off any product with the promo code SHADOW25 at savorista.com. All right, I'm grabbing another cup. Back to you, Juniper.
All right, time to fire up the spectral cosmic message materializer, flipping the switches, cranking the dials. Here we go. Let's see what drifts out of the ether tonight. Oh, look at this. A note flickering in the static like a moth made of smoke.
Message retrieved from the void.
Let's crack it open. It says, hey, Matt and Juniper, my name's Nathan, writing from up here in northern Wisconsin. I've been meaning to send this for a while, but tonight's delivery route finally gave me the quiet time to do it. I listen to the Shadow Frequency pretty much every day, usually during my early morning deliveries when the roads are empty and the fog hangs low over the pines. Your show makes those long stretches feel a little less lonely and, honestly, a little creepier in the best possible way. I also put you two on at the end of the night when I'm lying in bed winding down. Something about the mix of spooky stories, static, and your back and forth just sets the perfect tone for drifting off. I stream the show on Spotify, but I've caught a few episodes on YouTube when I want to see the visuals you've been putting together. Topic-wise, I'm all about the UFO episodes, especially the weird rural encounters. I'm equally hooked on the hauntings and cryptid stories. The stranger and more out there they are, the better. The conspiracy ones get me thinking long after the episode ends. Anyway, thanks for keeping the atmosphere eerie and the storytelling sharp. You two are part of my daily routine now. Keep static rolling, Nathan, in Wisconsin. Nathan, you absolute legend. Early morning deliveries with fog and pines, that's prime Shadow Frequency territory. I'm picturing you rolling down empty roads, our voices crackling through the speakers while something watches from the tree line. And bedtime listening, bold move. Hope the skull doesn't follow you into your dreams. UFOs, hauntings, cryptids, consider your wish list noted. We'll keep the static thick and the weirdness thicker. Thanks for making us part of your routine, Nathan. Remind your friends you can send us an email, the shadowpodcast at protonmail.com. Send us your stories, your sightings, your I swear this happened moments. We read everything. Back to you, Matt. Try not to wake the skull.
You are tuned to the Shadow Frequency, where every whisper tells a story from beyond the veil. The darkness continues.
Thanks, Juniper. And Nathan, you're a braver soul than me, listening in the dark like that. All right, let's dive back into the Bettiscombe Manor. We left off with the skull in its niche, screaming its way through the centuries. But there's more, so much more. Let's talk about the 1970s. The manor's owned by the Harris family now, and they're not buying the ghost stories. They're practical, skeptical. They decide the skull's just a creepy heirloom. Time to get rid of it. They wrap it in a towel, drive it to the coast, and chuck it in the English Channel. 2 days later, a fisherman pulls up his nets. Guess what's tangled in the ropes? The skull, bone dry. And it's screaming so loud the guy nearly capsizes his boat. He brings it back to the manor himself, won't take a penny, says it told him where to go. In 1984, a TV crew films a documentary. They set up in the attic, right near the niche. Lights flicker, cameras die. One sound guy captures something on his boom mic, a child's voice, clear as day, saying,
"Don't touch him."
They pack up early. The footage they do get, it's unusable, just static. And in the static, faces. Now, here's where I got to pause, because as much as I love a good curse, there's part of me that wonders. The skull's been carbonated. Turns out it's not from the 18th century. It's older, much older, possibly Iron Age. And the Jamaican servant story first shows up in print in 1880, 100 years after the guy supposedly died. The Penny family records don't mention any enslaved man requesting burial in Jamaica. So, is the skull screaming because of a betrayed wish, or because we made up a betrayed wish and fed it for 300 years? Folklore is a hell of a thing. Tell a story long enough and it starts telling itself. The storms, the illnesses, the accidents could be coincidence, could be suggestion, could be the manor's just old and drafty and people hear what they expect to hear. But then why does the skull keep coming back? Why do the screams sound the same, century after century, recorded on wax cylinders, reel to reel, digital? Why do people who've never heard the legend wake up shrieking in that house? In 2001, a paranormal team brings in a medium. She won't go near the skull. Says it's not one spirit, it's many. A chorus, trapped, angry. She claims the skull's a conduit, something ancient, something that predates the manor, predates the pennies, predates even the betrayed servant. It's a battery, and every time someone tries to move it, it feeds. Last verified sighting, 2019. A family renting the manor for a wedding. The bride's veil catches on the niche. She tugs it free, and the skull falls. Hits the floor, doesn't break, just stares. The wedding goes on, but that night, every guest hears it, screaming, not from the attic, from inside their heads. Skull's back in its place now. The manor's privately owned, but the owners allow tours on one condition. Don't touch the skull. Don't photograph it. Don't even look at it too long, because some say it's learning, adapting, that it doesn't just scream anymore, it whispers. And if you listen, it'll tell you how to bring it home. So here we are, a bone that won't stay buried, a house that won't let it go, and a question that keeps me up at night: what happens if someone finally does take it back to Jamaica? Will the screaming stop, or will it follow them across the ocean?
Matt, I'm moving my bed away from the wall tonight, just in case.
Smart, Juniper. Take us home.
And that's the file on the screaming skull of Bettiscombe Manor, Dorset's bouncing bone that curses anyone who tries to silence it. Thanks for walking these shadow dolls with us tonight. If you've got a story that screams in the dark, hit us up, shadowpodcast@protonmail.com. And stop by our website, shadowfrequencypodcast.com. You'll find our store there with plenty of merchandise, our 24-hour streaming radio. You'll also find all of our episodes and our blog, and there's a companion article with each episode, so that makes it pretty cool. Next time, we'll be cracking open something even stranger. You won't want to miss it. Matt, you want to say goodnight?
Sleep tight, friends, and if you hear screaming, check the attic.
This is the Shadow Frequency. Keep your doors locked and your skulls closer. Good night.
This episode was conjured with a solemn vow to explore the unexplained while remaining bound to the truths that have been unearthed. All interpretations are speculative and offered only for your enlightenment and your entertainment.